Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at the Eevee VMAXs. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, I have had a whole bunch of questions coming to me over the past few days about these Eevee VMAXs and essentially what is going on. And I'll be honest with you, it's not actually as easy as it might at first appear. So I thought we needed to do a little bit of a roundup video here showing off the Eevee VMAXs and, fairly importantly, where you can actually go and find the Eevee VMAXs, because that has been where a lot of the questions have been coming around. People have basically been coming up going, Wossy, what is the deal here? Where can we actually find these? And I suppose that's where I come in, ladies and gentlemen. So let's have a little bit of a gander, shall we? Now, what is very interesting here is that the Vs and VMAXs are not particularly even. So the set is Eevee Heroes. And Eevee Heroes is a new set coming out in Japan. It is coming out on May the 28th, I believe, at the end of this particular month. And it is going to feature all 8 EVVs. I mean, firstly, look at the front of the box, or the pack. It certainly does look like all the Eeveelutions are being featured, and they absolutely are. All of the EVVs will be available in this particular set, and we have actually seen them. Now, for my money, there are 3 that really stand out above the rest of them. We've got Leafeon, who's got an ability that lets you search for grass energy and attach it to one of your Pokémon, but your turn ends. Sylveon, that lets you search your deck for any item card, and then your turn ends. And we've seen plenty of abilities like Zacian that ends your turn that people do not mind playing. I expect these to see a bunch of play. And then there is the Umbreon that for free energy does 160 if you've got damage counters on. But you've got Houndoom to accelerate single strike energy, which will then put damage counters on as well. And you've also got the fact you're hitting weakness on Shadow Rider Calyrex. And I think it's fair to say that this is going to be a pretty good one. And although they are the highlight as far as I'm concerned, we have seen all the others as well. We've seen Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon, who are your Generation 1 Eeveelutions. And then we've also seen Glaceon and Espeon. So if you want the Vs, it's nice and simple. They're all in the set proper. If you want the VMAXs, that's where it gets a little bit more interesting. Because you see, over in Japan, they have shown us this Eevee VMAX Collection. And this is very, very cool. Like, I think I've got a couple on pre-orders. I hope I do. But you'll notice that we got pictures of Flareon, Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Espeon VMAX all sitting up at the top there. And the reason is, with one exception we'll get to in a moment, these VMAXs can only be got in this product. And that makes it very awkward, right? Because if you want a Jolteon VMAX, you can't just go and buy a few boxes of the set. You have got to buy this product. And on the one hand, every time you buy one, you've got a 1 in 4 chance of grabbing a Jolteon. On the other hand, you've only got a 1 in 4 chance of grabbing a Jolteon. And with how popular Eevee Heroes is looking, there is a very good chance you're not just going to be able to find this product wherever you want from now until the end of time. So yeah, that could end up being a little bit awkward. Now, I showed you Vaporeon the other day. I'm not a huge fan. It can do 200 if you've got damage on the defending Pokemon. And to be fair, Elemental Badge will bring that down to a 2 energy attack. And then Rapid Strike Energy will pay it for a single energy. So it's kind of fine, but I'm still not a huge fan of it. And then there's an attack for a single energy that puts a water Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench and attaches free energy. And yes, it is any water Pokemon, even if they're not a basic. Flareon is kind of interesting. You discard the top 5 cards of your deck, doing 100 for each energy you find. And that is certainly, we've got ways to try and stack energy. And I think this could be a really fun little deck on the side. But the other two, I think there might be problems. When I showed you Jolteon VMAX, I told you it might be broken, and I meant it. Because we've got that elemental badge I showed you a moment ago that reduces your attack cost by 1 colorless energy, which turns this into a single energy attack, and it does 100 to the active and 100 to a bench Pokemon that's already got any damage counters on it. But in a world where Galarian Zigzagoon is a thing, getting that damage is not going to be an issue. And I do worry that Jolteon is actually going to be a little bit too good for how hard it's going to be to find. And to be fair, this is a pretty easy, you go first, turn 2, you should be doing 100 to 2 different Pokemon pretty easily. Taking out any, if your opponent ever benches a Pokemon with less than 120 HP, you ping it with Galarian Zigzagoon and just KO it with Jolteon, which is ridiculous. And as it stands at the moment, it is only coming out in this particular pack. And like I've said, ladies and gentlemen, this could genuinely, legitimately end up being a little bit of a problem. But it does look like an awesome card. The other one exclusive to this pack, is Espeon VMAX, which has got the same ability as the Espeon from Dark Explorers, which prevents all effective attacks other than damage to any Pokemon of yours that have got energy attached. And this was a card that made the top 8 of the World Championships back in 2012. So make no mistake about it, this is a great ability. Interesting attack as well, but it punishes your opponent for attaching too much energy. But generally speaking, we are really all about the ability here, and the ability is great. Now, I said pretty much exclusive to the box because we have actually found out that there is a special art of Espeon VMAX, which is coming along in this Pokemon Center box. You buy the box, you get yourself a special art Espeon VMAX. Yes, it is some of the best artwork we've seen. Yes, it is going to be extremely sought after. Yes, it's going to be a bit of a pain. I don't really know what to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, but good luck. I did mention in a previous video it was going to be sold by a lottery, and that was good information at the time because the last couple had been sold by lottery. Turns out this one is actually not being sold by lottery. It is just being sold by the Pokemon Center, even online, as a first come, first served. Good luck, because it's going up for sale at, I think, 3 in the morning UK time. It is, shall we say, a little bit awkward. But as it stands, this is the only place to actually go ahead and get yourself this special art of Espeon VMAX, which is super awkward. Are we getting special arts of Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon? Frankly, don't hold your breath. I would not expect to get those special arts. Now, it is interesting. We've seen a product like this before. It was the one that introduced us to Cramorant and Dhelmise VMAX. And on the one hand, we didn't get special arts of them. And on the other hand, this was really before special arts were a thing again. So I really wouldn't read too much into that. Having said that, we never got full arts or rainbow rares of Cramorant and Dhelmise. To put it another way, the last time Japan made a product exactly like this, they only gave you the regular VMAX. There were no other versions. It looks like Espeon being in this Pokemon Center set is an aberration, is an exception, is an anomaly. I wouldn't expect special arts, etc. of the Generation 1 Eeveelutions. I, of course, could be wrong, but I wouldn't expect them. And remember, we got Cramorant and Dhelmise in Shining Fates, but we never got any fancy versions of them. As for the other Eeveelution VMAXs, the other 4 are coming along in the set proper. Now, it is interesting to note that we haven't seen Leafeon and Sylveon yet, and these have really piqued my interest, because I told you there were 3 of the Vs which I really liked, and 2 of them were Leafeon and Sylveon. So I already like them for the Pokemon Vs, and there are VMAXs coming. We know that there are VMAXs coming. We have been told all 8 VMAXs are coming. We know 4 of them are coming in the set. We know the other 4 are coming in this VMAX box. So I am super interested to see what they're about. Glaceon VMAX has got a really interesting ability. It's basically Zamazenta, but it can be attacked by other Glaceons. So essentially it can be damaged by other VMAXs. unless the other VMAX is a Glaceon. And I know we got ways around this nowadays, but I still think this is a really nice ability. I am happy to be proven wrong. And then we've got Umbreon, and I told you how great Umbreon is, but Umbreon's ability is Lycanroc GX's ability. It's Bloodthirsty Eyes. Lets you grab one of your opponent's Pokemon from the bench and drag them into the active. It is out and out, over the top, ridiculous, phenomenally good. And I've seen a whole bunch of people go, well, hang on a second, Wassy. I don't think it's going to be that good because Boss's Orders is out here. Anybody telling you that Umbreon's not going to be that good because of Boss's Orders wasn't playing when Sun and Moon was a thing. Because if they were playing when Sun and Moon was a thing, they will have realised that Guzma was out at the same time as Lycanroc, and yet Lycanroc was an absolutely proper job, crazy good, over-the-top card that saw a huge amount of play. And there are a billion different reasons for it. It's firstly that Pokemon are way easier to search than supporters. It is secondly that you can play it with another supporter like Amani, so you can essentially boss and Marnie in the same turn, and we all want to do that sometimes. It is partly because you can play something like a Professor's Research to dig for your gusting, and you can't play Professor's Research to dig for a Boss's Orders because, well, Boss's Orders is a supporter, so make no mistake about it, this ability is huge, will see a whole bunch of play, and anybody telling you, and I've seen this comment on Twitter a bunch of times, anybody telling you we don't need Umbreon VMAX because we've got Boss's Orders, it's an understandable opinion, but not if you've been playing the game for a while, because back in the Sun and Moon era, we had this ability with an equivalent supporter, and the ability saw a bunch of play. Do expect special arts for all four of the ones that do come in this set. Expect special arts for Glaceon and Umbreon, and then also Sylveon and Leafeon. And expect the Umbreon special art to be one of the most sought after cards we've seen in a very long time, because Umbreon is extremely popular as a Pokemon, and the special arts, well, the last few artworks we've seen have been amazing. Expect this one to be as well. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the VMAXs and Vs that are coming and where to find them. 4 in the set should have special arts, and 4 in the VMAX box should not have special arts, except for the Espeon that's getting it in a different way. Of course, all I'm doing here is making a sensible prediction based on past behaviour of the Pokemon Company, which is all we can ever really do. They might mix things up. We never quite know. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these Vs and VMAXs you like. Tell me which of the special arts you're going to be going for. Tell me how excited you are by them. Oh, and by the way, when it comes over to England and the USA and Europe and all of that, do bear in mind that we're just going to have it in our regular set. They might take 1 or 2 cards out for promo products. We'll have to see at the time. But don't expect to see a split like over in Japan. Expect them to largely all be in the same set, with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions because they're put in different products. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.